So today I'm going to be talking about the 3 books that changed my life, and I have all of these books linked up in the description of this video, as well as every single video I have posted. So the first book is a book that taught me a lot about building wealth, and that book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and honestly, it is one of the most highly recommended books out there, so I would be very surprised if this is the first time you've ever heard anyone mention this book. This is basically the story of how Robert had 2 father figures in his life. His real father had the poor dad mindset, while his friend's father had the rich dad mindset, and he basically shares the difference between the things the rich dad did as well as the poor dad and the things each of them taught him. Each of those 2 men shaped Robert's thoughts and actions when it came to money and investing. The key lessons I learned from that book are number 1, why the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. Number 2, the difference between assets and liabilities. This had to be one of the biggest lessons I learned from that book, because I didn't realize that many of the things that I had were actually liabilities and not assets. And the 3rd lesson was working for your money versus having money work for you, and that really ties into the main idea of why the rich people tend to get richer and the poor people stay poor. So if this is not a book you have read, I highly recommend it, because this is one of those books that you read and it just opens up your mind to a different world, and it's almost like mind-blowing, the things he talks about, because it's so simple, yet it's something that so few people actually understand. The second book is a book that taught me a lot about happiness and just having an overall sense of fulfillment with your life, and that is the book called How to Be Here by Rob Bell. The subtitle of that book is A Guide to Creating the Life Worth Living, and the book certainly delivers on that promise. This is a book that really inspired me to go out there and follow my dreams and do what I knew that I could do in life. It talks a lot about the importance of living in the moment as well as just simply enjoying today. And this is one of the problems that many entrepreneurs have, is you're too focused on your long-term vision and you forget about how important it is to be present in the moment and enjoy each and every day. So this is a book I highly recommend to anyone out there who is an entrepreneur, or if you're someone who finds that you're just too focused on your long-term goals and you really aren't getting much short-term enjoyment out of your life. You need a balance of both of those 2 things. One of my favorite quotes from that book was that each of us were created to do something great, we just need to find the courage to do it. And this book really paints a picture of what it's like to be an entrepreneur and to really follow your dream. It shows the good side as well as the bad side. Now this is a really interesting book because it's a combination of many things. First of all, it is Rob's personal experience with following his dream. Now Rob Bell is a pastor, so there are some religious examples, but this is not a religious book. On top of this, it also includes actionable steps as well as practical advice about what it's like to actually go out there and be an entrepreneur and follow your dreams. And that is why I have this book on my top 3 list, because it really gave me perspective on what it's like to go out there and follow your dreams, how to be present and how to be happy each and every day, and the importance of just living in the moment. So as far as the key takeaways from this book go, one of the key lessons was why you need to take 1 day off a week from everything, no matter what. And he refers to this as the Sabbath day, but again, it's not a religious book, so it just means 1 day to yourself where you're not focused on your vision, where you're just taking a break and just living in the moment and being present. The second lesson was how to live in the moment and how to be present while having a long-term vision and building your dream. And the third lesson was a really good example of what it's like to actually be an entrepreneur and go out there and follow your dreams, because he's very honest about his highs and his lows involved in that process. Now the third and final book that changed my life is a book about investing, and this is The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. And I use a lot of the examples from that book in my videos because it is such an important book. Many people refer to it as the investing Bible. And again, this is a very common book that people recommend, so if this is the first time you're hearing of it, I would be very surprised. But if you're looking to learn about investing, I think this is the first thing you should get your hands on. This book is the teachings of the greatest investment advisor of the 20th century, known as Benjamin Graham. Now, Benjamin Graham provided the educational foundation to Warren Buffett, the greatest investor of our time. Now, I've also had people ask me whether I recommend the original version of this book or the revised edition of this book. The revised edition of the book provides current examples that really validate the teachings of Benjamin Graham and show that these things still hold true today. So I recommend picking up the revised edition if you're looking at The Intelligent Investor. The biggest takeaways for me from this book were, number 1, the difference between the price of something and the value of something. Number 2 is the importance of a long-term investing strategy. And number 3 is the difference between an investment and a speculation, which is something many people unfortunately don't understand. Now, I believe that book is over 500 pages in length. It is a very long book, but there is so much valuable information in there. I think it is the first thing you guys should look at if you're serious about investing. So if you guys want to check out any of those books, I have them all linked up in the description. And these are 3 books that absolutely changed my life. Now, I constantly read books. I try to read a couple new books a month, and of all the books that I've read, these are the 3 that are at the top of my list. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want me to talk about more books that I'm reading, let me know in the comments section below, and maybe I could do once a month talk about the books that I'm reading and share my main takeaways from that book, and give you guys some direction on what you guys might want to read. Please drop a like, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing to be notified of any future uploads. And as always, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video.